Hi, Haney family. In case members of the family don't know me, my name is Adam Turner, and I have a gift for Mr. Haney today. This is going to be a video, just an interview session that I had with your dad back around maybe September for a school project of mine. And I did my interview session with him, but then also too just talking with your father. It was a fun conversation. So I ended up even asking him more than what I really needed for my interview at school, and that would be due to his wife, or your mother or grandmother in this case, Miss Haney, asking me to give a little bit more because it's something we've planned for a while back. So Mr. Haney, I hope you enjoy having all this documented and on recorded and captured for it to last a long time. And I hope you and your family enjoy this. I just figured, as I'm going through, I'm listening to this interview again, I was like, it was really good. I really enjoyed talking with you. I really enjoyed hearing all the different stories you had. They were just so wonderful. And I think my camera might have ended up missing out on some of the conversation because my battery had died and I ran out of space to continue to record. But it was such a wonderful and rewarding experience, and it's awesome I'll be able to share this with your family now as well. So I hope you all enjoy it. Hope it's everything that you would like to see, Miss Haney, and if there's anything in the future that you'd like for me to do with this footage, just contact me and let me know. So without further ado, Mr. Haney, if I'm not there right now when you're going to watch some of this and I'm gone, happy birthday. Hope you enjoy it, and I hope you and your family also enjoy getting to watch this. Bye. So first thing I want to ask you, Mr. Haney, is that you graduated from prep in the year of 52. What was your attitude coming out of prep and going into college? How did you feel about your future after graduating from prep?
Well, after graduating from prep, we were really all primed for college, and even back in those days, some of the prep courses counted towards freshman college courses at Creighton U.
Okay.
So we were all primed for college, certainly.
Nice. Going to college and with working on your studies and working at the same time, did you find a difficulty trying to find a mix and a balance between the two, of trying to make sure that you kept your commitment to your job, but also your commitment to your studies?
It was not difficult at that time, but of course the economics were much different than they are today. And even going through prep, and I had an after-school job, it was very easy to do that and to pay my tuition in prep.
Okay. Now, after can you just give a short synopsis of your journey after you graduated from college and the course of different jobs and different careers that you went into?
Well, after I graduated from college in 1959, I got a job working for an investment broker, and that's all I've done my entire life. I worked for a small local firm and then joined a national firm and basically spent all my career with that national firm. And so it's unlike today where you can have lots of careers within a career. Mm-hmm. That in itself was a career, but within that career I was involved in a lot of functions about the investment business that were volunteer positions, plus I volunteered for an awful lot of civic duties, most of them connected with the church, but not all of them. But I served on the boards of some high schools, and then I was the founding chairman of a Scott Catholic High School. I also was an arbitrator on securities cases for both the New York Stock Exchange and the National Association of Security Dealers. And for 20 years I served kind of as a lobbyist for Wall Street on the national level of the Securities Industries Investment Banking Committee. So I kept pretty busy besides keeping my clientele prosperous.
Nice. I saw too that you were inducted into the Investment Hall of Fame the first year of its formation. How do you think they went through that process of selecting, and how much of an honor did you feel that was to be one of the first members inducted in?
Well, it was a wonderful honor. One of the requirements was you had to have, to even be eligible, you had to have 20 years in the business. You also had to have a clean record. That means that you never had any complaints filed against you or anything, and that your firm never had any reason to sanction you in any way whatsoever, and that you had clients that were happy. So I had some long-term clients who were letters of support.
Nice. So it was just like a testament to just how great you were at your job throughout the course of the years that you had it.
Well, and that you were professional about your duties, yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
You talked about too of working with the Archbishop on the committee for the educational development. That was here in the Omaha Archdiocese, correct?
That was the Omaha Archdiocese, right?
And Archbishop Daniel, was he? How many years back was he on the council? Was that before? How many archbishops were there before? I mean, after him, to get to George Lucas?
There was one in between.
Okay.
Just one in between.
And which archbishop was that again?
Well, Archbishop Daniel Sheehan is the one that I worked with, and then when he retired, he was replaced by Archbishop Eldon Curtis.
Eldon Curtis, that was his name.
And then Archbishop Lucas.
Okay. And working on the committee, what challenges did you face with just trying to get adjusted into work on that committee for the school board?
Well, working on the school board one, it involved knowing about all the schools really, especially at the high school level, but concern about the grade school level and the enrollments, so that those enrollments led to the high school enrollments. And in order to do that, each time we met at a different school and had that school inform us or educate us about their particular school.
Okay. And now this is something I get confused about myself with when it comes to the high schools that are underneath the Archdiocese. Prep doesn't fall underneath that, does it?
No. Prep is an independent school run by the Jesuits. Duchesne is an independent school. And Marion High School is an independent school. And Mercy High School is an independent school run by the Sisters of Mercy. Yeah.
So pretty much all the non-co-ed schools. With Mount Michael's so far out, it's not even in the Archdiocese, is it?
Well, yes, it is. Oh, yeah. Geographically, it certainly is. But it's an independent school run by. But the
Benedictine monks.
Right.
Okay.
The Catholic high schools are Gross and Roncalli and Scott Catholic.
Okay. You said that you were key in the formation of Scott Catholic, correct?
Correct.
When it came to that time to develop another Catholic high school for the Archdiocese, what was the plan going in with the idea for Scott? If you can remember, just remark on that for a bit.
Well, the idea was the growth of Omaha to the west was so great that we needed another school out there, and all of the Catholic high schools were basically east of 72nd Street, except for Marion, which is 78th Street, and Mount Michael was really out in the country. But so there was a need for a high school in West Omaha, a vast need, and Scott certainly has fulfilled that and proven that there was a real need for a school out there, a Catholic school.
What were the challenges you faced when trying to set Scott up?
Oh my, the challenges were absolutely immense and almost daily. The biggest challenge was people who had no vision, no belief that it could happen. I mean, it was at one point, I think it was Archbishop Sheehan and myself were the two who really believed in needing a school out there. We were fought by everybody, including the superintendent of Catholic schools at that time. But certainly opposition from the other Catholic high schools who feared that it was going to hurt their enrollment. And none of that proved to be true because of the growth in West Omaha. All of those other schools, their enrollments are now well above where they were at the time that we started Scott. But there was a lot of opposition, no two ways about it.
Do you still keep up to date with how the school's doing now?
Yes, I do. I keep up with it. For me, it's a lifetime commitment. I do keep up with it. I raised some money for them actually earlier this week, and their annual dinner is a week from Saturday, and my wife and I and my son and his wife will definitely be there. Yeah.
Awesome. If you were to describe the course of your career when it comes to talk about the investment part, what would be like a one word or like one sentence you could use to describe it?
It's been a wonderful ride.
Wonderful. And if you could say one thing about your time spent on the educational development committee, what would be something to sum that up?
It has been very, very worthwhile and very rewarding with to seeing all the kids getting the education that they deserve and should have been available to them.
Nice. Okay. That most.
When I started school in kindergarten, which the Catholic schools didn't have it in those days, at the public school at Windsor School. But after the first semester, we called them half years at that point. At the half year point, the teacher recommended that my mother take me out of kindergarten and take me over to the Catholic school to begin first grade. So I had a half year of kindergarten and then finished the half year of first grade and then went right into the second grade. And then in the fourth grade, I had a sister who came down with a contagious illness and the family was quarantined, and so I missed a semester of school classroom anyway. Kids would drop off the homework on the porch and they'd just run like the devil, afraid they were going to catch something. But I didn't go back to school for a half a year. And then in the 8th grade, I broke my leg in February, and an old-time doctor in our neighborhood kept me flat on my back for a solid month for a broken leg. Unheard of today. But as a result of that, I didn't go back to school for the second half of the 8th grade. I graduated with the class, but I didn't go back to school. So I was in prep. I was 13 years old when I started prep. I was 16 in the first semester of my senior year. So I was 12 years old when I started prep, actually. But when I was about the 7th grade, I came up with an idea of making Kool-Aid and pouring it into a wax cup. And when it would start to freeze, I would stick a wooden spoon into it and then it would freeze up. And I called them a cupsicle, and I sold those really to kids in the neighborhood for a dime a piece. I had a little toy cash register that I put the money in, and I used my mother's freezer, and she let me do it. And it's amazing how much money came in the 7th grade, 8th grade, first couple years of high school. And I paid my way to prep the last 2 years of prep. Of course, the tuition was only $55 a semester, but I did it out of that, and then I had that and a couple of other jobs where I saved the money. I had enough money to pay my way to Creighton University for 3 semesters before I joined the Navy. The Korean War action had been on, and they had ceased fire. Never did call a treaty, but we were told that if we went on active duty within 6 months, we would get the GI Bill. So several of us did that. I had some money left over, and I had a very kind uncle in Denver who would have me out there for the summers. He was in real estate, so I asked him to invest the money. Within a short time, we doubled our money, and he sent me a check, and I was on a ship going to Europe, and I had no use for the money there, so I sent it back to my dad and then asked him to invest it in the stock market, and that led to my 52-year career in the investment business. But it all started with the cupsicles in about the 7th grade.
Nice.
It carried me all the way through. And then in the investment business, I was able to get on national committees and serve as an arbitrator. It was wonderful side things to do within the career. And I was able to appoint several people to be arbitrators or judges in securities cases where people brought lawsuits, or arbitration actually. So all of that made for a very interesting career. Very nice, right here in Omaha.
Nice. Talk about how it is to feel to be the Creighton Prep Alumni of the Year. How did that feel?
Well, that felt fantastic. I was very, very honored. My class, there were 3 that were honored. It's the only class where 3 were so honored. One of them was Father Val Peter, the head of Boys Town, and the other was Tom Shanahan, who was a federal judge, and then myself. So that was good enough company in itself, let alone making 3 out of our class.
Very nice indeed. Now, too, with you helping set up SCUT, and currently being at Creighton Prep, would you say it's a proud statement to say that there's like even though like we don't face each other too much, there's a small rivalry between SCUT and Prep in different ways. when it comes to like the student section, prep having the bird cage, and Scott wanting to claim that their student section is better than ours. There's a little bit of a rivalry has formed without there being much contact between the two schools. Would you say that, to all the people that doubted how well Scott could do, you would just say that's a good way to show that prep? I mean, that Scott has really been able to thrive.
Oh yeah, there is a little bit of that, but the reason that there's not a lot of contact between is prep being a Class A school and Scott being a Class B school, which is merely determined by
number of students.
By number of students. But as far as the talent goes, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of talent that's gone to Scott that prep would have liked to have had a prep, and of course vice versa. Sure.
Yes, for sure. That was the one question I wanted to ask you about, because I find it funny how I just find it kind of funny and almost ironic the fact that there's like in the student body, there's a lot of students like, God, I hate Scott. It's like, I hate West Side, but I hate Scott too. When we play Scott, we don't, but I just hate him. And so with you being a prep alumni helping set up Scott, it's almost like it's just almost funny that something like that has formed within the student body, which eventually will, once they get enough students, they will eventually be able to become Class A.
They could. The school is built right now for Class B, but we have an area to expand to have enough students become a Class A school.
Yes.
And that may happen someday.
That was all part of the planning with architecturally and stuff.
Exactly. There's a knockout wall right there and a piece of the campus saved to expand more classrooms. So
nice.
We decided to go ahead with the new high school. We were required to do a telephone survey of potential users to determine the depth of interest, and we actually were asked to do a survey that was double what you need to do to be a statistically valid survey. And I listened in on a lot of those phone calls. This was done by Selection Research International out of Lincoln. I listened in a lot of the calls, and it went this way. The mother would say, well, I went to Marion, and so my daughters are going to go to Marion. My husband went to prep, and our boys are going to go to prep. And actually, we were glad to see that, because we knew those schools had a following. And the following wasn't anything we were going to be disturbing by building Scott. But that came through all the time. Those people were very loyal to those schools from day one. So it was there for them.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Haney. I really appreciate that.
Okay. You're more than